Do you struggle as an adult, if you're watching this, over 18 people and out of school, do you struggle with relationships and connections as a neurodivergent? I literally just figured out what neurodivergent is recently. And it's so interesting because I think there were so many of us dealing with stuff growing up that it was never labeled as anything until this next generation. It's fascinating to me. So I want to talk about that today. I'm Alicia Zoe Cow, the Empowered Woman, and I want to talk about how this affects women of our age, the Gen Xers going into the next stage, and younger women coming through, and also dealing with your spouses and children that may have these issues. But I had a coaching client today that really struggles with connecting with people. She's actually really outgoing, and she said her friends are shocked to hear that she's actually an introvert and wants to hide out. And it's really interesting because I also kind of feel that way sometimes too. It's shocking because I love to be engaged and be in connection with people and feel connected and have that time with people. But at the same time, I'm also like repelled by being in huge groups and things like that. To me, that really freaks me out, which I think is very small. I guess an ambivert is what they would call us. But neurodivergent, I think we realize what it can look like. It's many different forms. Many of you that know me personally or have gotten to know me through online know that my oldest, Sebastian, is on the autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, or back in the day it was called Asperger's. I don't know, they keep changing and taking things away, and I try to not get in trouble with saying it the wrong way. So please don't come for me. And my one middle daughter has like a seizure disorder. She gets really overwhelmed and easily sensitized. And my baby also, I think noises really affect her. And it's interesting to watch it as a mother now with the three different ages, a 7, a 16, and a 19-year-old, how this affects them. Like anxiety would be one. If you have a spectrum disorder or a sensitivity disorder, or you're just like OCD and like ADD, or ADHD is a big one now. And I realized I was watching a TikTok recently and I was brushing my teeth, and it said, do you brush your teeth and do other things? Like one person mentioned they're brushing their teeth and making their bed. And I was like, oh my God, I think I've done that. Brush your teeth while you're getting some other stuff done. Or you're folding laundry and then you go back and do this and go back and do this. You can't like stay focused on the task at hand. Sometimes you have to really put your focus on before you can get things done. And I have been guilty of doing that. And I don't know why, like your brain just is like all over the place like a pinball machine. And so I think what happens is this, and I had a conversation with Michael, and it's so funny. He used to have a t-shirt that said, I hate people. And I was like, what? That's horrible. Like this is way back in the day when I was younger. And I was probably would claim as at that time in my life a super extrovert. Like I couldn't get enough. Like I never wanted to be home alone. I always wanted to hang out with people. I was like a Jerry Maguire. Like I didn't want to be alone with my own. And it comes out is I didn't want to be alone with my thoughts because I didn't love myself. That's a whole journey. That's another journey that we can talk about. But it took me a long time to learn to love myself for all the things that I've been through, who I am and who I am today, with no apologies, and also truly like be grateful for all of the things that have happened to me up to this point to understand exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I say that a lot in my videos because I really want that to land, is that you don't need to rush things. You don't need to hurry things. You don't need to manipulate things to make it the way you want it. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in the learning in life and whatever that journey is for you. So don't give yourself a hard time about like comparing why you haven't gotten to the level you want to be at, or these are things are not happening fast enough. Just trust that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay. Side note, that's a very ADD thing I just did, or ADHD thing I did. But the biggest thing I think we note is that small talk drains you. How many of us can feel that way? I hope most of us do. I think it's like when you go to an event or a barbecue or a party or someone, you don't really know anybody, and then you're talking to someone and you're just chit-chatting like how's the weather, like you're talking about very surfacey stuff because everybody's trying to wear a mask of perfection or wearing the mask. And Chase Hughes talks about this. I loved listening to him talking about confidence and wearing the mask that everyone wears, is that we do wear masks. We wear masks in every single place in our world. But when you go to a party or a barbecue, let's say with some neighbors or friends or casual acquaintances, or maybe people that you don't even really know that well, you have the mask on of how you want to present. You have the mask on how you want them to see you. It's not easy to truly have a deeply connected conversation because you're just like a little hummingbird having all these conversations everywhere. And that's what my husband meant about what he didn't like about those getting get-togethers, is he doesn't like the surface conversation. He loves being one-to-one. He wants to connect. If he's going to take the time, because time is so precious now for all of us as adults, to be in a place with someone that you want it to be authentic, real, and vulnerable, and connection about like-minded things, not about surfacey, gossipy, negative things that don't really help you grow in any way. That's something I think is resonant so much with so many people I talk to. And one of the challenges I would say that people face is the fear of taking the mask off and showing their true heart and being vulnerable first and authentic first. That's a really big buzzword, vulnerable and authentic. And I think people don't know what it really means because it's been used or overused. Thank you, Brené Brown, which is amazing. But authenticity is not a buzzword. It's a true thing about being true to yourself and your soul. And being okay that the person on the receiving may not see eye to eye with you with it, but then not getting defensive when you're not getting the reaction you want. Right? That's authenticity that's how I look at it. I think the biggest thing is understanding who your tribe is, or understanding where you can show up. Like I have that group of women I was telling you about. We show up Saturday morning in our pajamas. Some of us are late, some of us are not. There's just no judgment. We just accept who shows up, and if they show up for whatever period they can and offer. And we're also very honest with each other in the sense of like, we'll call each other out, which I think is really important to do in a loving way, not in a mean, nasty way, because I think kindness goes a long way. There's ways to say things and not hurt people's feelings. But how you build these relationships are going to, I think, help cement kind of how you process and have deep connections as an adult, especially when you have this issue of, I got this and this and this. And I think all of us, whether we are ADD, ADHD, or neurodivergent, our lifestyle in 2025, 2024, or in this time period is very chaotic and very go, 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 go. If you have kids, you're dropping kids off. You have school, you have homework. If you have a job, your husband has a job. If you have animals, you have house chores, you have activities, we have responsibilities, we have hobbies. There's so many things that are happening at all the time at the same time, I feel like. And so there's no wonder everybody feels chaotic and running around with their head chopped off, right? So that's something you need to think about, is if you're going to give time to yourself to be with other people, how do you find the right people for your group? The biggest thing, again, is how you show up and not how you expect other people to show up. So one of the things I've been doing, if I go to an event, there's a lot of people, I try to connect with one person in that whole place. I just say, I'm sticking with the one person. I'm not going to go from place to place to place to place. Even in a conference, I kind of find my little posse and I'm good. Because in the effort of trying to meet everybody at once or try to talk to everybody, it's not that I ignore everybody or don't have a conversation. It's just I don't put energy and focus on connecting with each person because it's too much for my system and it's too much for me. So that would be a huge clue for you to do that. At work, at home, in your neighborhood, you don't have to be for everyone and not everyone has to be for you. I think it's a hard thing to hear, especially if you're a people pleaser or you want everyone to love and accept you because you want to feel worthy. Those are big things to think about. Is there a reason why you're acting like that? Because you want people to love you, accept you, and need you. You may be doing things to encourage those types of relationships when you really don't want them. So if you think about that as well, you can set parameters around what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Sometimes I get invited to things and I feel overwhelmed because I'm already going to so many things. And even though if I have that block of time, I will not hyperschedule myself with those things because I already have to work so hard in my business, with my personal life, trying to stay fit and trying to take care of my body. I don't need to cram things in that don't make sense or don't serve me. And I've also said to myself, if I don't feel well that day and I'm not going to show up in a way that's going to connect, and my cuckoo brain is showing up, the neurodivergent ADHD shit, I'm gonna politely decline and do a goodbye. Or I just will go and say hello to everybody and then just dip out. Irish goodbye. That's my new favorite thing because everyone knows what it is. So those are things like about giving yourself the grace to change your mind, like changing your mind on goals and what you want in life. Guess what? We're adults. We don't have to say yes to everything. We don't have to go for the whole time. We don't have to go for the beginning or the end. You can make a decision for yourself as an adult, an individual. This is for me and this is not for me. And you can explain to them, or you don't have to. You can just say, no, thank you. I appreciate the invitation. It's not for me. Or I'm unable to attend. Thank you so much for inviting me or thinking of me. Or we're busy, or we're committed or overcommitted. Like when anybody asks me, do I have space to run something or do something? And I'm like, a knee-jerk reaction is to cringe. Then I know then the answer is a no. Because remember, I think we talked about this in a way back when videos about if it's not a hell yes, then it's definitely a no, especially in certain seasons of life when you have children, work, health, all the things going on at once. And if you're that season of life, saying yes to all the things means you're saying no to something else in your life that you really treasure and want. So I'm getting better at that. I'm just curious, is this a me too? Are you a neurodivergent? Do you face all these things as well? And how do you handle it? Does this speak to you as well? And I would love to build a community around that to get more conversation about how do you connect authentically and take off those masks that you don't really need to have on. That's personal growth, right? That's about really self-love, about caring for yourself and honoring yourself where you are instead of forcing yourself to be in a place that's making everybody else comfortable, but you're miserable inside. That would be what I would go for. So until next time, The Empowered Woman, and I would love a subscribe and a thumbs up. And if any questions, DM me, shoot me a message. Love to schedule a consult to talk further about what this means to you as you grow. Bye-bye.